Today serves as Senior Day at Lincoln Memorial University as the LMU men's soccer program is set to honor Callum Home, Mario Pinto, and they will be playing to complete their final regular season match here at the LMU Soccer Complex. Hello and good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rusty Peace on a somewhat cool and blustery day here on the LMU campus. Winds blowing quite strongly here at the LMU Soccer Complex. And when you talk about LMU and Wingate in men's soccer, it does not get more interesting than that. I can tell you that these two teams have had a very storied past, mostly a very rugged and very physical match when these two teams meet up. And over the last 6 times, LMU has come away with a victory only twice. That has been in 2011. LMU won that one 2-0, and in 2007, that's when the Railsplitters went to the NCAA National Championship. LMU took a 2-1 victory over Wingate, and since that time, the Bulldogs have captured 4 victories, most recently in 2012 when they defeated the Railsplitters 3-2. Now, Wingate comes into today's match with a 10-4-1 overall record. They're 7-2-1 in sack play. The Railsplitters are 9-6-1 overall and 6-3-1 in the league. What does that mean in terms of the league standings? Well, Queens is at the top right now in their first season of soccer here in the South Atlantic Conference. They're 8-2 in league play. Wingate in the 2 spot at 7-2-1, but Carson Newman right on their heels at 7-3, and Lincoln Memorial right now in the 4 spot at 6-3-1. It's going to be a big-time match today, folks. You don't want to go anywhere. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear what Helio Dana has to say about today's meeting with the Bulldogs. You're on the LMU Sports Network.
Looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? Visit University Medical Clinic. All providers are faculty members of LMU's DeBusk College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available including family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, and osteopathic manipulative medicine, with locations in Harrogate, Tazewell, and New Tazewell, and most insurance plans accepted. University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7193 for an appointment. University Medical Clinic.
Juggling my family schedule is a full-time job. Between school, dance practice, work, there's little time left to worry about much else. That's why I use real-time banking from Home Federal Bank. With real-time banking, I know that when I make a deposit, the money goes straight to my account. No delays, no waiting, no wondering. And I get to focus on what's important.
Real-time deposits, real-time access, real-time banking. From Home Federal Bank, always within reach.
It's the Old Town Grill.
The Old Town Grill is a special place where you bring more than family, more than friends. Bring a hearty appetite, because at the Old Town Grill, you'll never walk away hungry. A delicious change from the ordinary. The perfect place to bring the entire family. The best food and plenty of it. Join the fun and treat your appetite to something special.
It's the OTG.
The OTG is the place to be.
At Farm Bureau Insurance, you can manage your auto, home, and life policies any way you want. If you like the internet, get a quote and file claims online at FBITN.com. If you like to take care of your business over the phone, give us a call. If you like to email, send us a message, and we'll take care of you that way. But if you like an old-fashioned smile and handshake at the door, come down to the local office.
No matter whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Subway of Harrogate and Middlesbrough has your fresh interests at heart. On your way to work, try one of our mouth-watering breakfast sandwich or flatbread omelets. If it's lunch or dinner time, choose from our wide selection of classic, select, or premium sandwiches, all made to your order. If you're serving a crowd, Subway has sandwich platters, giant subs, box lunches, and even cookie platters. Whether it's dine-in or carry-out, you can eat healthy and eat fresh at Subway. Subway, 362 Catawba Avenue in Harrogate, and on the corner of the Village Square Mall, Middlesbrough.
Since 1973, DeRoyal has been a leader and an innovator in manufacturing products for the healthcare industry. DeRoyal supplies more than 20,000 products and product lines such as acute care, orthopedics, wound care, and trauma. DeRoyal is proud to be the largest supplier of orthopedic soft goods to clinics and hospitals in the nation. Since its start in Tazewell, Tennessee, DeRoyal has grown to open factories in over 29 locations worldwide and employs over 2,000 people. DeRoyal, a name you can trust and an employer you can count on.
We are back here at the LMU Soccer Complex where it has now begun to rain. We don't know how long that will stick around. The sun's still shining and the clouds kind of spotty, so it doesn't look like it's going to last very long. But that will no doubt make conditions less than desirable out on the field. You know, these two teams have just such a storied history, and it's always a very exciting match when the two teams played. It's a much anticipated match as well. And earlier this week, we had the opportunity to sit down with Heli O'Dana and talk to him about today's meeting with the Bulldogs.
But you're right. It's always physical. It's always there's a little more heat, you know, and the emotional part will come to play, and cards will come to play because both teams are at this time of the year, as you should expect. They're loaded at times in certain areas of the field that people are beginning to get close to the limit, you know. And now you're one game right before the postseason. That if you take a fifth card on that game, you sit the next game. So there's decisions to be made. But yet, the kids are looking forward to this, you know. So am I. And regardless of how sometimes from outside it looks like these games are played under a negative cloud of, you know, how rough or how. For us, it's a fun game, you know, and we look forward to it, and I bet you they do too.
Now, while the Rail Splitters will come into this afternoon's match having lost their last outing on the road to non-conference opponent Lees McRae earlier in the week, that was a 3-2 setback for the Rail Splitters in region play. To make matters worse, they'll be without the services of Callum Home today, who received his fifth yellow card of the season against the Bobcats earlier in the week. So without their top defender in the lineup, the Rail Splitters are really going to have to pick up the slack where they can, because the Bulldogs are going to come at them with full force here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the two schools. First of all, for the Bulldogs of Wingate University, they're under the direction of head coach Gary Hamill. The starting lineup looks like this. In the net at goalkeeper, Daniel DeGraff, a 6-foot junior from Statesville, North Carolina. Alex Nelson will start at defender, a 6'1 freshman from Newcastle, England. Victor Tazzelli will start at defender, 6'3 and a junior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Axel Jewell will be playing midfield today, 5'8", a freshman from Newcastle, England. Sean Gadsby will start at midfield, 5'8", a sophomore out of Newcastle, England. Liam Gillespie will be at midfield, a sophomore, 6-footer out of Newcastle, England. Perron da Silva, will start at forward, a 6'1 junior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Guy Andrade will be at midfield today, 5'11", and a senior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Charlie Mackel will start at forward, a freshman, 6'2", out of Newcastle, England. Pedro Figueira will start at midfield, 5'11", a senior from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Cameron Burrows plays defender, 6'4", a sophomore out of Cary, North Carolina. Rail Splitter starting lineup looks like this, folks. At goalkeeper, Marcel Barvanitz, a 6'1 junior from Berlin, Germany. At the midfield position, Yuri Passos, and he is 5'9", a junior from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Leonardo da Silva will start at forward, a 5'10 redshirt sophomore out of Itajuba, Brazil. Mario Pinto starts at midfield and forward, 5'11", a senior from Uberlandia, Brazil. Harry Solomons at defender and forward at times, 5'8", a freshman from Leicester, England. Nathaniel Johnson starts at defender, a 6-foot sophomore from London, England. Jordan Dooley will start today at defender, 5'11", a freshman from Maryville, Tennessee. Gus Rivera starts at defender and midfield, 5'8", a junior from Maryville, Tennessee. Also, Keegan Sanders will make the start, 5'11", freshman out of Kennesaw, Georgia. Bryson Lynn starts today, 5'8", midfielder out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. He as well as a freshman. And Nick Bogeman making the start, 6'2", a midfielder and freshman out of Johnson City. The Rail Splitters under the direction of head coach Heli O'Dana, as he and the Rail Splitters will fight the Bulldogs today in the South Atlantic Conference and regular season finale here at the LMU Soccer Complex. We got a great match in store for you. Stick around. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back with your opening touch. This is the LMU Sports Network.
Today's broadcast of Lincoln Memorial University Soccer is brought to you by University Medical Clinic, with 2 locations to serve you in Harrogate and New Tazewell, Tennessee. University Medical Clinic. By Farm Bureau Insurance. By Old Town Grill. By Home Federal Bank of Harrogate, always within reach. Home Federal Bank. By Subway of Harrogate and Middlesboro. Eat fresh at Subway. By Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro. Sleep smart at Holiday Inn Express. By Oasis Pizza and Substation. By DeRoyal, a name you could trust, a product you can count on. DeRoyal. By K&K Metal Sales. By Sleep Inn of Middlesboro. Dream better here at Sleep Inn. by the J. Frank White Academy and by Lincoln Memorial University. Your career path is here. When you're traveling throughout the tri-states, stay smart at Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro. With nearly 60 rooms to choose from, fitness center, full complimentary hot breakfast bar, and seasonal pool, Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro is all about catering to your travel needs. Our rooms are all equipped with flat screen TV, refrigerator, microwave, and we're conveniently located just seconds from the area's attractions. When you're on the road, stay smart at Holiday Inn Express, located on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro. Make reservations today by calling 606-248-6860.
Money Magazine recently ranked physician assistant as one of the top 5 jobs in America. Your career path to becoming a physician assistant begins at Lincoln Memorial University. PAs diagnose and treat patients and provide patient education, among many other responsibilities. At DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine at LMU, you'll experience hands-on training in a state-of-the-art medical school. Receive a Master of Medical Science degree in Physician Assistant Studies upon completion of the 27-month program. Join the healthcare team. Your career path is here.
For great food, fun, and entertainment, visit the Oasis on Highway 25E in Harrogate, Tennessee, with a new drive-thru to better serve you. At the Oasis, you can enjoy a great lunch buffet or order from the great menu that the tri-state area has grown to love. Pizza, salad bar, and a tasty sandwich from the deli. And don't forget your favorite beverages. Check out the live music each week at the Oasis, where regional and local bands strut their stuff to a packed house. Or stop by and catch the big race on the big screen. All roads lead to the Oasis, 6341 Cumberland Gap Parkway in Harrogate, Tennessee. Phone in your order, 423-869-8000.
Make K&K Metal Sales your only stop for all your residential and commercial metal building needs. For the past 23 years, K&K Metal Sales has covered the tri-state area with quality custom roofing and siding with many grades, gauges, and colors in stock. If you're looking for complete steel or wood building packages or steel or wood trusses, K&K Metal Sales can help with that, as well as heavy-duty custom carports. Great folks and great prices. Stop by K&K Metal Sales located at 6986 Cumberland Gap Parkway or call 423-869-4261.
The J. Frank White Academy is more than a high school. Your child will have room to grow in mind, body, and spirit. Small, safe learning environments, individualized learning plans, and cutting-edge technology. Every child deserves a quality education in a safe, nurturing environment.
Our college prep program teaches a love of learning, self-discipline, and service to others. The Academy is fully accredited by Advanced Ed. You have a choice at the J. Frank White Academy.
Whether traveling for business or pleasure, Sleep Inn and Suites of Middlesboro, Kentucky invites you to dream better here. Located at the foothills of the Cumberland Gap, Sleep Inn and Suites offers luxurious rooms equipped with microwave fridge combo, desk, ergonomic chair, wireless internet, and 32-inch flat-screen TV. While staying with us, visit our fitness center, wake up to our complimentary hot breakfast bar, or have a bedtime snack with our fresh-baked cookies. Sleep Inn and Suites, located off Highway 25E, Middlesboro. Looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? Visit University Medical Clinic. All providers are faculty members of LMU's DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available including family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, and osteopathic manipulative medicine, with locations in Harrogate, Tazewell, and New Tazewell, and most insurance plans accepted. University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7193 for an appointment. University Medical Clinic.
At Farm Bureau Insurance, you can manage your auto, home, and life policies any way you want. If you like the internet, get a quote and file claims online at FBITN.com. If you like to take care of your business over the phone, give us a call. If you like to email, send us a message, and we'll take care of you that way. But if you like an old-fashioned smile and handshake at the door, come down to the local office.
It's the Old Town Grill.
The Old Town Grill is a special place where you bring more than family, more than friends. Bring a hearty appetite, because at the Old Town Grill, you'll never walk away hungry. A delicious change from the ordinary. The perfect place to bring the entire family. The best food and plenty of it. Join the fun and treat your appetite to something special.
It's the OTG.
The OTG is the place to be.
Since 1973, DeRoyal has been a leader and an innovator in manufacturing products for the healthcare industry. DeRoyal supplies more than 20,000 products and product lines such as acute care, orthopedics, wound care, and trauma. DeRoyal is proud to be the largest supplier of orthopedic soft goods to clinics and hospitals in the nation. Since its start in Tazewell, Tennessee, DeRoyal has grown to open factories in over 29 locations worldwide and employs over 2,000 people. DeRoyal, a name you can trust and an employer you can count on. Since 1973.
No matter whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Subway of Harrogate and Middlesbrough has your fresh interests at heart. On your way to work, try one of our mouth-watering breakfast sandwich or flatbread omelets. If it's lunch or dinner time, choose from our wide selection of classic, select, or premium sandwiches, all made to your order. If you're serving a crowd, Subway has sandwich platters, giant subs, box lunches, and even cookie platters. Whether it's dine in or carry out, you can eat healthy and eat fresh at Subway. Subway, 362 Catawba Avenue in Harrogate and on the corner of the Village Square Mall, Middlesbrough.
Again, we welcome you back to the LMU Soccer Complex, where the Rail Splitters prepare to take on the Bulldogs of Wingate University in the regular season finale for the Lincoln Memorial University men's soccer program. Your camera operation today by Adam Crawford and by Justin Wormy. Your technical direction here on site by Adam Plyler. Your executive producer for the broadcast is Tony Spinoza. This is a production of Sigmund Communications and the LMU Sports Network. Again, I'm Rusty Peace. Glad to have you with us here today, as the Rail Splitters and Bulldogs add another chapter to their storied history here in men's South Atlantic Conference soccer. South Atlantic Conference standings, you're pitting the Bulldogs in the second place position against the fourth place Rail Splitters today. Again, the backstory or key story to this, in my opinion, LMU playing without the services of their top defender today, senior Callum Holm, who picked up his fifth card, if you will, against the Bobcats of Lees McRae in a non-conference match earlier this week. It was a regional match over in Banner Elk. Coincidentally, the Rail Splitters lost that match 3-2. So tough break for Helio Dana and his squad today, but we have seen younger players step up this year. We have seen some of the improbable players that don't get a great deal of time come in and play and really make huge contributions. And as a result, some of those players that really didn't receive a whole lot of playing time earlier in the year are in the starting lineup today. Guys like Nick Bogeman, guys like Bryson Lynn, those guys have worked their way into a starting position out of just nothing shy of sheer respect from the coaching staff and from their teammates. We are just about set to get underway. Wingate will have the opening touch, and it's been kind of a role reversal here between the Bulldogs and the Rail Splitters. Years ago, Wingate was a program that was very European player-oriented. Now they've got that South American flavor with a lot of Brazilian-type players. They've still got some players from England, in fact, quite a few of them, but not nearly the players from over in the Ireland and Scotland area that they used to have years ago. And as a result, LMU was the team that had all of the Brazilian players. Now they too have that European flavor with a lot of players from the England area and so forth. So very interesting situation here that has come to be between Lincoln Memorial and Wingate. But anytime these two teams get together, it is always a great match. Now Wingate, a very big team in stature out there on the field. A lot of guys that look as though they could challenge most of the balls. Very interesting today. I do not see George Byrne in the starting lineup. I'm not sure what that's about, if he's out injured or if he too has a card, but he is on the sideline. I do see him over there, but he does not appear to have his boots, as they would call it, on today. Barvanits comes out, gobbles it up on a great effort to prevent a Wingate shot opportunity. And now he'll let the Rail Splitters get their shape before he punts it away. Actually, he's going to kick it away. Kicking with the wind, and it'll go well across midfield. Bulldogs knock it out off the far sideline, and it appears that Cameron Burrows touched it last. That'll leave Gus Rivera with a throw-in. Ball toward the middle of the field. Coming out of nowhere was Victor Tizzelli to head it back to the LMU side, and that'll leave Jordan Dooley to set things up back there from a defensive standpoint. That ball last touched at midfield by Lincoln Memorial. It'll go out of play back to Wingate. And the throw in from right in front of the LMU dugout. I believe that's Gadsby that has the throw in. Sanders knocked off the ball a little bit. Again, it's last touch by the Rail Splitters. Nathaniel Johnson back in the lineup today for Lincoln Memorial. The last time we broadcast from here at the LMU Soccer Complex, which was the Catawba match, LMU won that one 3-2 in overtime. Johnson not in the lineup, and he has rejoined the Rail Splitters today in terms of being out there on the pitch. Here's the goal kick by Barvady. It's a nice one, well across midfield. Headed back by Alex Nelson of Wingate. Jordan Lynn undercut, and they're going to call Lincoln Memorial with the foul. Johnson stepping back there defensively. Flicks it out with the right foot, and Lincoln Memorial will step up on their defensive effort here as Alex Nelson will have the throw-in for the Bulldogs. Here's Nelson, near sideline, tried to cross it. Headed out off the inline by Lynn, and that'll leave Wingate with a corner kick from the near corner. Just underway, Rail Splitters and Bulldogs, two of the top 4 teams in the South Atlantic Conference standings, at least for this week's standings, squaring off here today in the regular season finale. Cross into the box, headed out by, looks like that might be Sanders. Sanders still battling. Pinto comes up with it. A lot of blue jerseys out there. Now Wingate on the break, across to this side of the field, switching the field. This is Gillespie, and it looks like Solomons might have got a piece of that. So another corner for the Bulldogs, and again, it will come from the near corner, as that appears to be Liam Gillespie that will step over there and take it for Wingate. SAC tournament coming up. The quarterfinal round will be played on November 6th. And as to whether or not the Rail Splitters will host the first round, that is yet to be determined. You can check out the LMU Athletics website following today's match and in late evening once the teams have all played. And I'm sure that we'll have a little more clarification on exactly who will host the first round, where the Rail Splitters will play, and who they'll be pitted against. Here's Barvaneet's kick on the goal kick, well across midfield. Body's up in the air for Lincoln Memorial, trying to get ahead on it. Nobody able to. Now Johnson will win the second ball. Bringing it down for the Bulldogs, that's Figuera. Headed back across by Dooley and into the Wingate backfield. That'll be Andre. Pressure by Pinto on the keeper, and he's forced to play it out wide. That ball kicked out of play as Pinto showed some real speed right there, and Victor Tizzelli just could not get to it before it went out off the near sideline. Thrown up the near sideline. Tizzelli again loses it off the near side. The linesman saying that it stayed in play. There's Passos ripping one right through the middle, and it'll go wide left to the post, so a goal kick for Wingate. Now, you had to try it. I mean, you had an open lane to the frame, and Passos ripping one. I think it stayed a little bit low to the ground. We'd call that a worm burner in golf, or used to anyway. Hit one of those low shots that just scalds the grass. Nice goal kick out of the box by Wingate keeper Daniel DeGraff. Knocked back at him, and now he's going to punt it away. Brought down at midfield by one of his teammates on the first ball. That's Rivera challenging back there on the defensive end. Now here's Sanders. Pushed off the ball a bit, stolen away by the Bulldogs. Johnson sending it way down line, and the keeper will let it go off the end line. And that again will be a goal kick for Wingate. You know, in recent years when the two teams have played, LMU was the more possession-oriented style play. But with the changing of the guard that we talked about earlier, so to speak, Wingate has gone to some possession, some direct play. LMU has gone to some possession and some direct style play. So very similar styles, but probably I think Coach Dan is always going to go back to his possession style of the South American style play, and probably Wingate will stay with the direct style of play when it comes down to it. better than about 7.5 minutes into this contest. Neither team with an official shot on goal yet. Here's Bogeman at midfield. Turns it over. Tozelli. Bulldogs trying to find feet up near the top of the box. Jewell battling with Lynn. Cross intercepted by Passos. Whiffed out of there by Dooley. Now Solomons from the near sideline. Sends it towards midfield. De Silva can't get there. Headed back by Andre. And now Sanders kicked right in the shin. And a foul called on Wingate as Sanders is down right beside the referee. Got him in the left shin. That's why you wear those shin guards, folks. And it doesn't always pad that contact as much as you'd like it to. Sanders rushed a little bit there as his teammates went ahead and played the ball, and he jumped up quickly. Ball off the top of the dugout, and that'll be an LMU throw-in. It'll come from the far sideline. Rivera gets it to De Silva, and again, he's unable to hang on to it. Passos gets it back for Lincoln Memorial. Sanders battling. Solomon's lost it. Stolen back by Gillespie of Wingate. Correction, that is Jewell. And it's played out off the near sideline. That'll be a throw in for the Bulldogs. Alex Nelson with the honors. Comes into Figuera. Figuera taking a dive over there. And a foul called on Wingate as Bryson Lynn went crashing to the deck as well. Yuri Passos waiting to send it up line, does. Solomon's got a foot on it, and it's taken back by Nelson. Across midfield. Figuera makes his turn, sends it over to Jewell. Now up line and back to Mackel. Passos will have it all alone at midfield. Sending the ball right down the middle. He was just offline with Pinto. Pinto was calling for it right there, and he was wanting him to play it out wider. Here's Tozelli to the near sideline. Nelson splits the double team. Bryson Lynn really pressuring Axel Jewell. Pinto battling back there, wins the battle, plays it off the defender, and LMU will have a throw in. Mario Pinto, known with great speed, but they also know his scoring ability, and you see very few teams that don't mark him or guard him very closely in some way, form, or fashion. Wingate, the offensive player, tripped up a bit, and that'll be a foul on Lincoln Memorial just outside the top of the box, so this will give the Bulldogs an opportunity for set play. LMU forming the wall right there in front of the ball. Ball's about 20, we'll call it 25 yards out. It might be a little bit more than it actually is, but not much more than that. LMU's got a 5-defender wall set up. Here comes the bend. It hits the wall, and it's knocked out of play off the near sideline. That'll be a throw-in for Wingate. So nice decision by the Rail Splitters to go with that extra man there. Throw in taken back by Solomons. And a foul apparently called on the Bulldogs. Yuri Passos will get it going again for Lincoln Memorial. Had a good crowd on hand here today for both matches. And that ball rides out of bounds untouched. Throw in for Wingate. Bogeman stabs at it. Taken back by Wingate's Figuera. And nice job by Bogeman to stand up the offensive player, but Perrin da Silva, apparently fouled by Bogeman. So a foul on Lincoln Memorial.
Long ball up the near sideline intended for Nelson. He'll make the cross. Barbanich punches it out. Ripped back toward the frame and a way wide right by Liam Gillespie. And that'll be a goal kick for Lincoln Memorial. That ball never
was even in the same zip code. Never had a chance. 32:05 to play here in the first half. Still scoreless. Neither team has had a shot on goal. Again, the Rail Splitters playing without the services of their top defender. That, of course, Callum Home. I don't see George Byrne in the lineup. And I'm not real sure what that's about. One player over there on crutches, at least for the time as well. Nathaniel Johnson saying that ball was played off the defender, and the referee didn't see it that way. So Bulldogs retain possession. Pass intercepted by Rivera. Sanders to Bogeman, and now taken by Wingate's Alex Nelson. This is Da Silva. Back to teammate Mackel. Da Silva being just hounded by Johnson. Rips one to the keeper, and Barbanich grabs it up. Thrown outlet far side. This is going to Rivera. He'll carry some space. Rivera's got a little bit of speed, plays it up towards LMU's Leonardo Da Silva, and that ball will go into the Wingate backfield untouched. Here's Nelson under pressure now from Solomons. Ball down the near sideline. Nothing but white jerseys there. Yuri Passos getting a little pressure there from Mackel. Plays it over towards Barbanich, and he'll tell his team to push up. Long ball well across midfield. Nice kick. Pinto putting the defender under pressure, and he'll play it back toward midfield. First ball brought down by the Bulldogs. That's Gillespie. And then knocked out of play, last touch by Lincoln Memorial. Alex Nelson with the throw in for Wingate. Mackel under pressure. Ball played down line. It'll go out of play, and that'll be a Lincoln Memorial throw in. So one shot on goal now for the Bulldogs, none for the Rail Splitters. Lynn's throw well across midfield. Passos wins the second ball. Solomons will bring it down, flicks it back to Da Silva. Nice pass over to Solomons. He's undercut from behind. They're going to say that that was Gillespie who played the ball. He looked like he came in studs up. Johnson heads it back to midfield. Jewell will bring it down. Makes his turn up the line. Passes off to teammate Charlie Mackel. Now back to Jewell. Cross to the corner of the box. Chip toward the keeper. Header going high, and that's going to be apparently off of Lincoln Memorial, and it'll be a corner kick for Wingate. Not real sure how that happened, but nonetheless, the Bulldogs will trot over there and take it. This is where you want to have those guys like Callum Home and George Byrne in the box. Byrne, big drink of water in there. He gets ahead on about everything. Passos will head it out for Lincoln Memorial. And then he'll send it up the middle of the field where it'll be picked up by Wingate's Alex Nelson. Johnson heads the chip shot back away. Cameron Burrows, far sideline. Sent across the top of the box. Headed back by Holmes and Bryson Lynn. And that ball kicked out off the inline for an LMU goal kick. saw the second half of the women's match as a defensive struggle, and this one's starting out like that, very much so. But as you well know, the Rail Splitters really haven't had a whole lot of matches this year in which they have either blown a team out or have been blown out. In fact, it hasn't happened. The biggest deficit, LMU defeated Trevecca 4-1 this year, but other than that, there's a collision on the far side of the field and a stoppage in play with 27:04 on the clock as an LMU player is down. And that looks as though that might be De Silva. Don Grigsby had LMU athletic trainer out there to check him out. Looks like he might have got popped in the face. He's going to be asked to step off momentarily. And he will be called back on as soon as play gets started and action gets underway, I would imagine, unless there was a substitution. I didn't see it if there was. He's going to step back over to the midline. Ball to the top of the 18, hanging around in the box, cleared out of there by Passos. Now De Silva can step back on. Long ball back to the top. Here's Johnson with a header out of that area. Passos with one more. Bogeman challenging. Passos will bring it down, flicks it over to Sanders. Sanders had it knocked away, and Wingate still battling, but Bogeman comes up with it. Over to Pinto. Pinto had one man to beat right there and couldn't get around him. Nice theft by the Wingate player. Here's Rivera, so crafty. Turns it over as the steal's made by Gadsby. Long ball to the top of the box, and Wingate called for the foul as Bryson Lynn was battling there and unfortunately was pushed off the ball, but Wingate called for the harm. Barbanese has got a pretty good leg on him, and he's going to send his players on up the field. They'll go deep. He's kicking with the wind, which has kind of died down a little bit right now. Nonetheless, a great kick. Bogeman trying to push up on it. Sent back to midfield by De Silva. A collision by Passos with the Wingate player, that being Pedro Figuera. Pinto had it knocked away. Wingate steals it. Ball sent across the field, and here's Dooley. He'll have all day to get to this one. Plenty of time to turn and set things up, carry a little bit of space. Plays it back to Barbanese, and now he'll be put under pressure. Barbanese with the left leg. Kicks it out off the sideline here at midfield. Nelson with the throw in. Brought down by De Silva. Played up there and stolen by Passos in the LMU backfield. Up to De Silva at midfield. Tripped up, and a foul called on the Bulldogs. I'm not sure that Wingate agreed with that call. That was Liam Gillespie that was called for the harm. Played his case with the referee and didn't really get much out of it. Not going to see him switch their call too many times. Ball inside the box. Bogeman was making a run. Keeper battling with his own player, couldn't come up with it. Pinto tried to rip one. It was knocked away. Bogeman's battling. And that ball off of Wingate and out of play. So Bryson Lynn will have the throw in. I tell you what, for a little guy, this guy can heave it. This time chooses to go short. Checked back by Solomons. Lynn plays it back to him. Back over to Lynn and knocked out again by the Bulldogs. LMU trying to lock this thing in here as they're down one shot on goal to none. Throw into Solomons. And Solomons can't keep it in on the line, and that'll go out of play. Bulldogs playing the ball toward midfield. Bringing it down is Mackel. Up to Figuera. Across the grain now to Gadsby. Ball into the box, and that'll go off the end line untouched for an LMU goal kick. 23-10 remaining in the first half, and we're scoreless here. 0-0, Rail Splitters and Bulldogs. Final regular season match for both teams. Barbanese kicks it away. Another nice kick. This is Nelson. Has it knocked away by Solomons out off the near sideline. And Nelson will have the throw in. Lynn heads it back toward middle field. Actually set up Axel Jewell. Shot toward the left post by Wingate's Liam Gillespie. Didn't have a chance, and Barbanese gobbled it up. Bogman getting a foot on that one, knocks it out off the far sideline. You know, LMU last year about this time was, I think, a game out of first and a game out of about sixth. They finished, I think, fourth maybe in the league standings. Won their quarterfinal round match, then won their semifinal round match in Rock Hill. Actually went to the conference championship and lost 1-0. But, you know, you get to that tournament, anything can happen. Unfortunately for the SAC men, they don't have that automatic bid to the NCAA tournament, and that's something that's got to change. I mean, it's there's just too many good teams in this league to leave one or two or even more than that out of the regional tournament because you don't have an automatic bid. I mean, you know, you go in and have somebody out of the ordinary that wins the tournament. It can make things happen good and bad, but you know, you also have somebody go in that plays well in the postseason, wins the tournament, and they're not one of the top-ranked teams in the league. There's a foul on Wingate, and that's going to be a stoppage in play, I think. He's actually just going to caution the Wingate player as he got into a pushing match with LMU's Leonardo da Silva. No card issued, but I think the official has seen enough of that. And, folks, I told you, when these two teams play, the sparks fire. They will fire and fly all over the place. But you go and win the SAC tournament. You got a team that's ranked, then you get two into the regional tournament, and there's only a handful of teams that make that. So, hey, anything can happen.
All right, White. Keep fighting.
LMU went to the NCAA Final Four 2 years in a row in 96 and 97. One was in Pensacola, Florida, the other in Orange Beach, Alabama. In the 07 season, they advanced to the national championship by virtue of an overtime win over the University of Montevallo. They lost 1-0 to Franklin Pierce with about a minute and a half to play. The only goal of the match was scored. And LMU had 3 shots on frame in the final minute and a half that actually had a chance of going in, but they couldn't find the equalizer, and they dropped the national championship 1-0 in 90 minutes of play. Before that time, as we understand it, no, and possibly since then, no South Atlantic Conference team has ever been to the national championship other than Lincoln Memorial. Elio Dana did that only about 5 years into his career here as LMU's head coach. Here's Pinto at midfield.
Somebody help him.
Over to Da Silva. Sanders will play at far side of the field now to Rivera. Back to Pinto. He's under pressure. Ball played back across the midline, out of play. Substitutions now for the Rail Splitters, as Bogeman is going to come out of the lineup. Also, it appears Solomons will go out. And that will get Alondre Lau into the lineup along with Pedro Villa. We have not seen Lau in some time. All lost off the far sideline. Lincoln Memorial throw in. And that was Pinto that hit one with the left leg wide right of the post. That never had a chance of going in as well, but a shot nonetheless. We have 18 minutes remaining in the first half of play as the Bulldogs and Rail Splitters are still scoreless, and Wingate will kick it up the field into the wind. Ball is going to die just shy of the midfield line and headed out by the Rail Splitters' Keegan Sanders. Passos across midfield. De Silva helps out Pinto. Pinto with a good tackle. That ball off of LMU, though. And that will go back to the Bulldogs. Long kick across midfield. Rivera didn't have a chance on it. Now Rivera just took a shot right between the eyes by the Wingate defender, and he is down right there in front of the LMU dugout, and it looked blatant from here. I don't know. He took a shot right between the eyes. You don't see him go down very often. You don't hear him complain at all. And he is pleading his case with the referee right now. And I got news for you. If the referee does not get a handle on this thing, it's going to get ugly before the end of the match. He's already cautioned a couple earlier for their contact and their the physical play that they had. But, Rivera is a guy that you just don't really expect him to do the things that he does, but you never see him complain on the field about the call or the lack thereof. And you very rarely ever see him go down in pain at all. I mean, he's just a tough kid. Wingate will play it back. And that'll go out off the end line. So I guess in representation of fair play, Lincoln Memorial will get possession. 16:44 to go in the first half. Here's Barbanitz to kick it away for Lincoln Memorial. Ball again well across midfield, headed by Villa. Sent back by the Bulldogs, and Barbanitz will bring it in. Back a little token pressure over to Johnson. Up to Passos, far sideline. I don't know where Passos was going with that one, but well out of play. So a throw in for Cameron Burrows of Wingate. Goes up line with it. That's why I could never play soccer. I mean, there's another hard foul called on the Bulldogs as Villa was knocked off his feet. He's helped up. Actually, that's Passos. Looked like he got hit in the throat. Somebody would come by and foul me inadvertently or intentionally in that manner, and whether I got the call or not, I'd be headhunting after that. I'd be searching that guy out. He would take a blind side. Sanders plays it up, intended for Villa, knocked out in front of the dugout. That'll be back to Lincoln Memorial as, again, Villa was knocked to the deck. Throw in by Rivera. Brought down by the Bulldogs. Midfield, there's the challenge for the ball. De Silva comes up with it. Tried to get it to Sanders, stolen away. Bulldogs get it back, and a foul on Lincoln Memorial. And now we've got a Wingate player down for the moment, but he pops right back up very quickly. Here's Nelson on the run. Gives it wide side near the line to Card. And off the end line, that ball will be awarded to Lincoln Memorial on a foul by the Bulldogs. Marcel Barbanitz over there just kind of holding his hands up saying, hey, ref, you got to do something about that. There was an intentional grab of the LMU player. Barbanitz will kick it away from the point of foul. Nice kicking in by Barbanes. He just always seems to deliver. Handball called on Dooley of Lincoln Memorial, inadvertent. Passos will give it up to the Bulldogs at the spot of the harm. Liam Gillespie will set it up. Here's Gillespie bending one toward the post. Johnson can't keep it in play, and it'll go out off of Lincoln Memorial for a Wingate corner kick. So Sean Gadsby over there to take it for the Bulldogs. Still only one shot on goal between these two teams, and that's on the Wingate side of the scoreboard. Floating ball into the keeper's hands and thrown out nicely by Barbanitz. And tripped up on his way across the field was Mario Pinto, as he got hooked on the feet of Cameron Burrows. Nonetheless, a foul called on Wingate. Sanders at midfield. Nobody around him yet. Gets it up to Leao. Leao whiffed it, and that'll go out off of Wingate back to Lincoln Memorial. Bryson Lynn will toss it in for the Rail Splitters. Finds Passos. Passos cuts through the defenders, chips it up to Villa. Villa lost it off the feet, taken by the Bulldogs on the steal, and now Nelson plays it off of Villa. And Nelson will have the throw in, and he'll drop back to teammate Victor Tozelli. Across the grain, far side to Andre. Now far side of the field, and this is Burrows. Up to Gillespie. Now back on the drop. Andre playing it over to the sideline. Stolen by Lincoln Memorial. And that is going to be a foul again on the Bulldogs as they knock LMU's Leonardo da Silva completely off his feet. No intent to play the ball. Looked like obstruction more than anything. And so while LMU gets the foul, it's a little unjust in that LMU had a great run going there. Da Silva tries to deliver, deflected out of play off the far sideline by Sean Gadsby. And that'll leave Gus Rivera for an LMU throw-in. 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Rail Splitters trying to lock it in offensively. Throw in to Johnson, and they're going to whistle LMU with the foul right there, as that will go back to the Bulldogs. Here's Passos from midfield. Up the far sideline. Pinto getting there. He's double teamed. The ball is knocked away and out of his possession. Got it back for a brief moment. Now Villa tries to get there. Can't do it. Bulldogs with possession, far sideline. Direct ball up the field and knocked back by Rivera. Here's Passos switching the field to the near side. Villa making a great run, and he's right there. Turns on the box, sends the cross. Here's Pinto on the feet, knocked away by the Wingate defender, and Nelson will clear it out of the box. Picked up by Lynn. Rail Splitter still with an opportunity. Over to Villa. Villa right through the gap. Intended for Lynn. He's knocked to the floor, and that will be a Lincoln Memorial. No, I beg your pardon. That was knocked out by Lincoln Memorial. Lynn heads it back onto the feet of Villa. He'll play it down line. Pinto held up momentarily. Now he comes up with it. Cross from the left side to the far side of the box. Da Silva not able to get there, and actually it's played off of Da Silva and out of play, and that will give the Bulldogs the goal kick. Good pressure from Lincoln Memorial in that exchange as they took the attack to the Bulldogs. You have to think, what could LMU do with George Byrne up top right now, with Callum home back there defensively. So far, knock on wood, the Rail Splitters have been very strong from a defensive standpoint here early. And, you know, Heliodana talked about how deep he felt this team was this year with more options, and rightly so. I mean, when we've seen some of the key pieces in the starting lineup go out this year, guys off the bench have stepped up and produced and really played well to fill in those gaps. So it just is a testament to how strong the Rail Splitters are in depth. De Silva standing up the offensive player over there. Still Wingate possession, throw in from the far sideline. Off the feet of Gadsby. Played back to Andrade. And now over, it's to Zelli. Switches the field to the near side. Nelson. Nelson going up line, trying to hit his player. Beautiful pass that time to Gillespie. Gillespie with two LMU defenders. Passes off to Card. Cross in front of the frame, and that's kicked away by Johnson. He got to it before Barbanitz was able to get there. Not that Barbanitz was out of position. Nice job by Barbanitz to keep it in play. They'll put him on a little bit of pressure now as Mackel just turned to let him know he was there, and now Barbanitz will kick the ball for the Rail Splitters. Just sends it so far up the field. Great ball. Here's Rivera over to Sanders. Drops back to Johnson. Now Johnson will play it long. Rivera in the box being pushed, tripped to the deck. And that ball knocked out off the inline. That'll be a corner for the Rail Splitters. Crowd maybe wanting some contact there for a possible penalty kick. No doubt that Rivera received the worst end of that contact. So Keegan Sanders will take the corner. Rail Splitters trying to get in position. Right here's where you like those guys like George Byrne and Callum Home in the box. Cross is way deep off the near side. Passos will bring it down. And that's off of Wingate. So a throw in for Lincoln Memorial, and that'll prompt Bryson Lynn to step out and toss it in for the Rail Splitters. Clock down to 6:15. And the Bulldogs play it out again, a little bit early on that one possibly. Lynn to Leal. Passos being trailed from behind, rips one towards the frame, and that's grabbed by Daniel DeGraff, the keeper. And now he's going to send everybody upfield. He's tired of being pressured. Bento putting him under a little bit of pressure. Header out of play, far sideline. Lincoln Memorial throw in as we're down to 5.5 minutes. Sanders, no chance of keeping it in, but it was touched last by Wingate. This is Gus Rivera. And, boy, I'll tell you what, Pedro Villa got away with one right there as he really pushed off on the Wingate defender, and I think that might even be Alex Nelson. Throw in, stolen away by the Bulldogs, now stolen back by Passos of LMU. Ball knocked out of play. I think LMU has definitely switched it to their end of the field in terms of the attack here in the first half. Rivera knocked off the ball. That's out off of Lincoln Memorial. Rivera stealing it back. He's just so crafty. Over to Leal. Ball for Pinto right down the middle. Actually, it's Villa that's going to get there. He had one man to beat. Pinto will bring it down. Trying to shield with the body on the defender. Tried to play it through the gap. Couldn't get it there. Lynn steps up on it. Nice tackle by the Wingate defender, that being Cameron Burrows. And again, the Rail Splitters will have a throw in. And now Lynn's going to leave it momentarily. Now he decides he's going to throw it in. Into the corner, intended for Villa, played back by the Bulldogs and out of play. Rail Splitters trying to lock it in here. They have not had an official shot on goal yet. Couple opportunities, nothing on frame. Pass comes into Lau. Lynn keeps it in play. Nice rainbow over to Lau. And Wingate will manage to keep it in play, and that ball off of Wingate now to play. Lynn looking for the throw in. Finds the feet of Villa. Villa in the corner, turns, crosses into the box, cleared out of there by the Bulldogs. Passos converging with Lynn, but it's Wingate that comes up with it. Johnson being pressured now by Jewell. Plays it back to Barvanits. Barvanits got under it a bit. High ball toward midfield. Sanders with a header back toward the midline. And Rivera using the foot skills to shake off the defenders. Plays it back to Sanders. Now over to Johnson. Nice job by the Rail Splitters. At midfield, this is Lau. Arcs one over to Villa. Villa keeps it in, has pressure from the defender, pushes off a little bit, but gets away with it. From the left side of the box, tackle pretty decent. Sent down the line, and the keeper will come over on it. Good pressure again. You got to like the effort by the Rail Splitters. They're taking the fight to the Bulldogs. They're not sitting back on their heels waiting for it to come to them. 1:40 to play. First half here, LMU and Wingate still scoreless. Gillespie playing it into the LMU backfield. Johnson has plenty of time. He'll call everybody off of it. Now sends the long ball, switches the field far side. Intended passes for Pinto. And it's knocked out of play by the Bulldogs as we approach the 1 minute mark. Final couple of opportunities here for the Rail Splitters to get a score before the half. Into De Silva, ball knocked away. Bulldogs now with a run. And that ball knocked out by the Rail Splitters. So LMU's got to push up the field and get locked in defensively. You don't, while you like to get that goal, you definitely don't want to give one up before the half. Steal by De Silva. Ball intended for Pinto. Or actually, that's Villa. Villa and the keeper collide. The ball is played out by the keeper. And that was really the only option he had because he was out of the box. He couldn't grab it. Lau. Under pressure near sideline. Ball played out by Wingate's Liam Gillespie. Into Lynn. Back to Lau. Cross to the top of the box. It's going to fall short. It just fell dead. Tazelli plays it out. And now this is Jewell. Has it stolen by Passos. Passos on the break. Trip to the pitch and a foul on Wingate. 14 seconds left in the half. And a stoppage in play with 10 seconds on the clock. Now, we saw one here a couple of games ago against Catawba. Not quite the exact same position, but De Silva hooked the ball beautifully. There's a great shot right over the top of the crossbar. Almost exactly the same situation. He was about 10, 12 yards to the right, further than he was against Catawba when he nailed that one. Nonetheless, LMU and Wingate go into the intermission tied 0-0. What a great first half without any goals. You don't see them like that very often, but very exciting first half. We'll take a timeout and be back with a look at your first half statistics. Not much to speak of, but we'll talk about it. That's when we return right here on the LMU Sports Network.
Money Magazine recently ranked physician assistant as one of the top 5 jobs in America. Your career path to becoming a physician assistant begins at Lincoln Memorial University. PAs diagnose and treat patients and provide patient education, among many other responsibilities. At DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine at LMU, you'll experience hands-on training in a state-of-the-art medical school. Receive a Master of Medical Science degree in Physician Assistant Studies upon completion of the 27-month program. Join the healthcare team. Your career path is here.
For great food, fun, and entertainment, visit the Oasis on Highway 25E in Harrogate, Tennessee, with a new drive-thru to better serve you. At the Oasis, you can enjoy a great lunch buffet or order from the great menu that the tri-state area has grown to love. Pizza, salad bar, and a tasty sandwich from the deli. And don't forget your favorite beverages. Check out the live music each week at the Oasis, where regional and local bands strut their stuff to a packed house. Or stop by and catch the big race on the big screen. All roads lead to the Oasis, 6341 Cumberland Gap Parkway in Harrogate, Tennessee. Phone in your order, 423-869-8000.
Make K&K Metal Sales your only stop for all your residential and commercial metal building needs. For the past 23 years, K&K Metal Sales has covered the tri-state area with quality custom roofing and siding with many grades, gauges, and colors in stock. If you're looking for complete steel or wood building packages or steel or wood trusses, K&K Metal Sales can help with that, as well as heavy-duty custom carports. Great folks and great prices. Stop by K&K Metal Sales located at 6986 Cumberland Gap Parkway or call 423-869-4261.
The J. Frank White Academy is more than a high school. Your child will have room to grow in mind, body, and spirit. Small, safe learning environments, individualized learning plans, and cutting-edge technology. Every child deserves a quality education in a safe, nurturing environment.
Our college prep program teaches a love of learning, self-discipline, and service to others. The Academy is fully accredited by Advanced Ed. You have a choice at the J. Frank White Academy.
Whether traveling for business or pleasure, Sleep Inn and Suites of Middlesboro, Kentucky invites you to dream better here. Located at the foothills of the Cumberland Gap, Sleep Inn and Suites offers luxurious rooms equipped with
and we welcome you back. It is senior day here on the LMU campus today as the Rail Splitters say goodbye to two very special seniors. Of course, Callum Home, one of those two individuals. He's not in the lineup today. He picked up his 5th card against the Lees-McRae Bobcats earlier this week. He's being escorted out on the field by looks like maybe Alanis Taylor and I think that's Chris Ruiz that played soccer a couple of years ago. And then, of course, you cannot forget Mario Pinto. He'll be the second senior we honor today as he is playing his final regular season match as a Rail Splitter. All-American a year ago as a Daktronics All-American, was the South Atlantic Conference Player of the Year, led the league in goals scored. But a first-team all-conference selection last year, preseason all-conference selection this year, and certainly he is a candidate for that again this year by the end of the year. So his play is definitely not over regardless of win, lose, or draw today. But, anytime you have a senior day festivity, it's a special day for those individuals because they have come here and they get to be recognized in front of their teammates for their careers here at Lincoln Memorial. And just a great gesture on the part of the school and, of course, for your teammates to try to send you out with a victory. At the half here at the LMU Soccer Complex, the Rail Splitters and the Bulldogs are tied 0-0 after the first 45 minutes of play. The only shot on goal came from Wingate early in the match. And so as a result, we don't have a whole lot of statistics to speak of, but we will be talking about those shortly following the Senior Day festivities. And we'll turn you over a little bit to Scott Erland, our public address announcer, as he closes things out. I've been running my mouth too long. Mario Pinto being escorted by, looks like possibly his girlfriend and her family today. He is obviously from Brazil, so not too easy for his family to make it all the way up here for Senior Day. Abby Yother and her mother and father. I think that might be her sister out there with him. And of course, Callum Home from all the way over the big pond in East Kilbride, Scotland. Not too easy for his family to make it over here for that day either. But now I tend to believe they'd probably make it for a graduation or something like that.
To
But
try to put in words what these individuals meant for LMU and for the men's soccer team is impossible. The only fair thing that can be said is a resounding thank you, and our wish is that life reward you as much as you have given us. The bar is set very high for those who follow, but the establishment of a perennial contender program is also a legacy left behind. Ladies and gentlemen, let us recognize the 2013 Lincoln Memorial University men's soccer senior class.
Now, there you have it, the men's soccer senior class being recognized. And with that in mind, I think we're going to take one more break. We'll come back, and hopefully we can get Adam Plyler to run down our halftime statistics for us. Back after this through Sigmund Communications. This is the LMU Sports Network. Back once again at the LMU Soccer Complex, and we are tied 0-0 at the half. Adam Plyler now joining us here at the LMU Soccer Complex press box, and he's going to run down our statistics for us as the Rail Splitters and Bulldogs are deadlocked 0-0 after the first 45 minutes of play.
Thanks, Rusty. It was a pretty uneventful first period. There was only one shot on goal for Wingate. Looking at the stats here, these are incomplete stats from the first period, so we're just going to go off base from what I remember. LMU, not a lot of opportunities in the first half, but they got a few late opportunities with the Yuri Passos free kick. Just went over the crossbar. So a couple opportunities for LMU. They really need to pick up the pace in the second half and stay strong defensively. They really want to come away with a key South Atlantic Conference win.
All right, thanks, Adam. Of course, for the Rail Splitters, we've been looking at the standings, and depending upon the outcome of today's match, now if LMU were to defeat Wingate, that would put them at 7-3-1. Wingate would then fall to 7-3-1, so the Rail Splitters would have a half-game lead on them in the standings. Depending upon what Carson Newman does today, I don't know exactly on that. Depending upon what Carson Newman does, they're 7-3 right now. So if, in fact, LMU were to win and Carson Newman were to fall today, LMU would move from fourth and into the second spot. That would be a pretty big gesture going into the quarterfinal round of the tournament. But then after that, the parity in this side of the soccer here in the conference is just unbelievable. So, nothing's for sure, and you definitely have to be on your game in order to make it happen. All right, we're underway again here in the second half as Wingate starts out on the attack. There's Leao at midfield, and already a stoppage in play as there will be a card assessed to Leonardo da Silva, and he cannot believe it. I don't know how many cards that would be on him for the year, but there's a possibility, depending upon how many he's received, that would then penalize him for the next match, which would be quarterfinal round play, if in fact he has received his fifth card of the year. It was a yellow card. It was not a red card. He's still pleading his case. The referee's not having any of it. Ball sent toward the box off the in-line, wide left, and that'll be a goal kick for Lincoln Memorial. So the Rail Splitters, they have still not officially registered a shot on goal today. But they really took the fight to the Bulldogs in the end of the first half. There's a great kick by Barbanese. You don't see much of that any other way from him. I mean, he just seems to deliver. Throw in for Lincoln Memorial. Bryson Lynn will have it far side of the field. Comes into Sanders. Leao starting the second half for Lincoln Memorial along with Villa. I think Kelly O'Dana liked what he saw from those individuals in terms of the attack. Tazzelli. Long ball up the middle. Johnson tracking it. Plays it over to Passos. Back to Rivera. He'll bring it to the near sideline. Looking upfield for Leao. Rivera chips one up to Leonardo da Silva. Flick pass over to Leao. Leao right down the middle, plays it wide side over to Lynn. Lynn squaring up on the rack and has that shot deflected. Kicked out by Nelson off the far sideline. And now Lynn will have the throw in. Da Silva. Great move to the box area. Chipped up and in! Or was it not? It was not. It looked like it was from here. It was wide left. I beg your pardon. Great effort. I think Helio Dana was out of the dugout and over on the sideline jumping up and down as he thought it also hit, and it did not. Oh, my goodness. Just a great opportunity for the Rail Splitters, and we really thought that it was in, or at least I did up here in the press box, but unlucky break. It was a great run by Da Silva right down the end line to even make it happen. Lynn across midfield to Pinto. Now to Leao. Chip shot up to Villa. Somehow Pinto got it back and then had his pocket picked. Pass over to the near side. Figuera trying to shake the defender, plays it out wide to Burrows. Up line and away to De Silva. Flick pass back to Gadsby. And it's tracked down by Dooley and let roll off the inline. Goal kick for Lincoln Memorial. Unlucky break. Boy, I'll tell you what, I thought Pinto had just broken the Lincoln Memorial University goal scored record. He's tied currently with a couple of former rail splitters, Frederico Mujian and John Payette. 48 goals for his career. Tizzelli plays it deep. Johnson gets ahead on it. Brought down by the Bulldogs, and equally so. I thought that one was going to bend right into the frame, but it went over and out of play. Perrin De Silva had a lot of topspin on that one, and LMU goalkeeper Marcel Barvanits was the only one that really had a good look at it down there and knew where it was going. Barvanits got under that one a bit, stalls it right at the midline. Pereira got ahead on it. Sent up by Leal. Villa now to Pinto, and that's played out off the near sideline by Wingate's Tizzelli. Rivera for throw-in. Plays it to De Silva. Brings it down and has it stolen away. Stolen away by Pedro Figuera and played out off the near sideline. So Johnson will leave Rivera to throw it in. You know, it's funny that a couple of the guys that really are the best guys at throwing it in are Rivera and Lynn, and they're two of the smaller guys on the team. Here's Villa, got tied up with the defender. The ball stolen away by Wingate. Bryson Lynn in a collision over there with Charlie Mackel. And that's going to be a card on or will it be? No, they're not going to issue it. I thought they were going to give one to Mario Pinto. The referee came streaking out of the middle of the field. Pinto forced the Wingate player off the line, far sideline, and into the LMU dugout. And just very aggressive play. Header toward the top of the box. Kicked away by Johnson, and that may be over at Burchett Dormitory. Well, that'll go out off the end line. It'll be a corner kick for Wingate. LMU getting their defenders set up in the box as the Bulldogs try to push up and get something going offensively. Nice ball. Hit and deflected. There's a ball saved by Barvanits, saved again by Barvanits. It was hit twice. Now De Silva on the run. Plays it up to Pinto. Back into the Wingate end of the field. Lynn tries to check it back. Didn't get a good lick on it. This is Figuera. Played back into the midfield area. Gillespie going to the net. Barvanits with another save off the header by Gillespie. Barvanits has had to earn his money here in the last couple of trips up the field for Wingate. Cleared out of there by Dooley. De Silva tripped up on the way to the ball. Nice tackle by the Wingate defender. This is Pinto, far sideline. Doesn't have a whole lot of support. Villa's there, but it's stolen back by Wingate. Bryson Lynn tied up with the defender. And the two really getting heated over there. Stoppage in play with 3:37:46 on the clock. And the defender sending both players different directions. And a card is going to be issued to the Wingate player. I think that was on Alex Nelson, number 3. I'm not sure. Victor Tizzelli will get the foul. I think possibly the foul was on LMU's Bryson Lynn. Long ball taken by Barbanese. He missed that one a little bit. Deflection by Johnson. Barbanese with the save. He has made some spectacular saves. And I believe that was, not sure if that was Jewell that shot that. Actually, no, that was De Silva. Barbanese upfield via challenging. Burrows has it stolen away by Layout. Layout trying to fight him off as they're in a foot race to the end line. He's pushed from behind. No call by the referee. Are you kidding me? Wingate turns it over. Bryson Lynn with a steal up to the feet of Pinto. He's pushed off the ball. Got to be frustrating to be a scorer like Pinto and have teams just marking you the entire match. Johnson heads it back toward midfield. Passos makes his turn. Sends it up to Villa. Two defenders from Wingate back there and a holding foul on the Bulldogs. That's going to be on Burrows. Of course, there's no count on how many you can commit, but if you get too excessive in terms of the physical nature of it, the referee can issue a card. 2 yellow cards in a match, and that equals a red. 35-50 to play here in regulation. 4 shots on goal for Wingate, none for Lincoln Memorial. De Silva kicks this one out of the zip code. That one never had a chance. So Daniel DeGraff, the keeper for Wingate out of Statesville, North Carolina, with a goal kick. Ball's going to fall shy of the midline. Challenged by both teams, and that'll be last touched out of play by the Bulldogs. LMU with the ball deep in Wingate territory. Comes into Solomons, back to Lynn, over to Passos. And Wingate tracking it down. That was LMU's Lau that really made the effort. All up to Pinto on the near sideline. Bulldogs keep it in play. Pinto checks it back. This is Rivera. Nice pass to Pinto toward the end line, and he cannot keep it in as that'll go out of play for a goal kick. Long kick to midfield. Passos heads it back. It's off the foot of Rivera. And Johnson commits the foul from behind on Charlie Mackel of Wingate. Got him right in the back of the right heel. That's the Achilles tendon area. And there's a stoppage in play with 33:54 on the clock as the referee checks him out. Mackel, 6'2" freshman out of Newcastle, England. And, of course, Nathaniel Johnson out of London, England. A countryman, but on the pitch, they're enemies at least for the time. Gillespie with a bender toward the box. And that was actually off of Lincoln Memorial. I think Johnson touched it last, so that'll go out of play for a corner kick. Trotting over there to take it is Liam Gillespie. I'd have to say that Wingate has really taken the attack to LMU more here in the second half than the Rail Splitters have been able to Wingate. That ball never, I don't even know that it ever came in. It went around the goal. Here's Barboneat's kick. And again, into the wind, that'll fall short of the midline. Burrows sends it up. Johnson trying to track it, heads it back toward Gus Rivera, who keeps it in play. And then Burrows lost it out for Wingate. Ball up to Lau. Flicked back in with the right leg, intercepted by the Bulldogs. Now stolen back by Da Silva, and now Johnson will track it down on the LMU end of the field, under pressure. Ball at midfield, Sanders and Dooley converge. Barboneats will come out on it. You know, we didn't receive much rain this week at all, in fact, but the field, you can see some divots taken up out there, so you know these two teams are really getting after it today. Villa checks it far side over to Bryson Lynn. Lynn on the cross into the box area. Villa trying to make a turn on it. This is Lau. Oh, my goodness. Just off the hands of the keeper's right side. He actually went to his left, but it was off the right post. But Lau, I really didn't think he had a chance on a shot on goal right there, but he really struck that ball well, and it had an odd bend to it. Keeper really had to make a play to save that one. Don't know that it had a chance of going in, but it did come off his hands and out of play. Here's the corner kick for the Rail Splitters. Low and in the box. Here's Solomons, and Solomons got under it too much, and that's over the backstop and out of play. So a substitution for Lincoln Memorial. We had 31-10 to go in this contest. Solomons goes out, and Keegan Sanders returns for Lincoln Memorial. I made a mistake a minute ago. I thought Sanders was in there. That was probably Dooley. Wingate's ball never came in, and again the Rail Splitters will take over possession. Ball up to Da Silva. Tries the flick, keeps it in. Two defenders for the Bulldogs trying to steal it away, and that's last touch by Wingate. Throw-in will come from Rivera. Intended for Da Silva. And off of Da Silva's arm, he was hoping for a foul call by the linesman, and the linesman didn't give him any of it. Check back by Dooley. Brought in by Lau. Pinto has it knocked away. Somehow he still comes up with it. Chip shot, far side, far post. This is Villa trying to get there. Crosses, hits the side of the net, and that's nowhere close. But Rail Splitters on the attack again, and that's good to see. Villa he just had too hard of an angle to cut right there. And from this angle, it looks good hitting that net, but just couldn't make it happen. Header at midfield by Da Silva. Nice challenge by Villa. And Villa is still down. Took a shot in the head. Sanders over to Johnson. And now the referee calling. He called the training staff, but they're holding them off now. Now Don Grigsby's going to come out. Villa very slow in getting up. He did take a shot to the head. They don't really take a whole lot of chances with that type thing. I mean, head injuries are something that you can't take lightly. But Villa is not one that stays down very long either. I mean, he pops right back up if it's just a hard foul, but clearly he took a shot in the head right there. Don Grigsby, head athletic trainer at Lincoln Memorial, checking out Villa. appears that Villa is okay. He will walk off his own ability. And I'm sure he'll be called back on at the first opportunity. Some substitutions now taking place. Villa may have been subbed for. I'm not sure. There may have been an injury substitution there. Looks like Nick Bogeman's going to be put back into the lineup. LMU has been to 5 overtime matches this year. They have won only one of those. That was their most recent when they faced off here at home against Catawba, won that one 3-2. And while we're still 30 minutes, essentially 29 minutes away from the end of regulation, the way these two teams have played today, the possibility of overtime is obviously there. But here in the second half, Wingate has had a much stronger offensive attack. Ball last touched by Wingate. I'm not sure the Bulldogs agreed with that call. Again, Lincoln Memorial throw in, far side of the field. That afternoon sun really tough to see from this side of the field. We're looking at it from the same side as the camera angle, so you can imagine what it's like for us staring into the sun over there on the far side. So Villa's going to return to the lineup. Bogeman will come out. Elio Dana wasting no time in getting him back in there. Much more offensive threat with Villa in there. There's Pinto ripping one toward the post, and it's knocked. That'll play off the end line. That'll be a corner for the Rail Splitters. So Leonardo da Silva will trot to the far corner where LMU will take the kick. Rail Splitters trying to get those pieces in the box, and hopefully somebody can get a head on it, slip it past the keeper. You got 3 Wingate players right there around the frame, though, and that makes things difficult. And another corner for Lincoln Memorial as Passos chipped it off one of the Wingate defenders. Now, the Bulldogs are such big players in stature in terms of height. It's almost pointless to send that ball in the box when you don't really have anybody who can compete with those to get a head on it. If you play to feet, and that's what they did right there, the ball's headed out by Wingate. Chip back over to the far side. Bulldogs knock it out. You play it low, and maybe somebody gets a piece of it. Throw into Passos. And the Bulldogs take it away. Dooley knocked it away for the steal. Passos over to Sanders. Now up to Pinto. Pinto. Ball over to Leal. Leal crossing it down the line. De Silva was making a run on it and slipped up on the turf. Now Villa steals it back. Cross from the far side. It'll go, stay in. It stays in play, actually. Bryson Lynn battling to get possession, and again, it's knocked out by Wingate. Referee calling for a stoppage in play with 26:20 on the clock. And he is going to, looks like, call one of the LMU players and one of the Wingate players together and say, hey, guys, can't have any more of whatever they're doing. De Silva turns it over on the throw-in. Recovered by Sanders, plays it up to Villa. Nice flick by Villa, but stolen away by Wingate. Bulldogs take it to the LMU end of the field. This is Gadsby. Plays it back. Deflected by De Silva. And De Silva took a shot right in another region. Stoppage by the referee. 25-47. De Silva went down as though he'd been shot by a rifle. And when I say that he took it in another region, you can guess where he took it, folks. That's not something that any player on that field wishes on another. I mean, obviously, you know when it's something that could happen to you, and there's a lot of respect on that type of thing out there. And, it happens to people on the bench as well. You just never I'm not talking about anything specific that anybody here would remember. Well, maybe a few in the press box. .25-34 to play in regulation. 4 shots on goal to 1 in favor of Wingate. It only takes 1. Rail Splitters trying to regain possession. Here's Passos. Passos on the break. Pinto not called off. Really thought that he would be, but the linesman, if she raised her flag over here, it was late. Jonathan Macker in the lineup now for the Bulldogs. This is Card from the near sideline. Plays the ball across the field. Lynn heads it back towards midfield. That's Nelson. Nelson chips one up the field. Dooley being held by the jersey. No call by the official. Plays the ball across the field. This is Leao making the play on it. Up to Villa. Villa lets it go past Macker. Plays it back towards the goalkeeper. Now up and off the near sideline, and that'll leave Rivera to throw it in. Wingate has not really tried to bring it out of their defensive backfield. They've been more content just to knock it out. Villa goes to the pitch and not able to recover. Header back this way, and Johnson. They're going to call Wingate with that foul. I thought Johnson would be issued the contact. Over to Lynn, far sideline. Up to De Silva, the ball knocked out by the Bulldogs. De Silva tripped up but recovers. Thrown to the deck, and a foul now on Lincoln Memorial. Unless it was after he went to the ground and made contact with a handball, I don't see where De Silva was guilty right there. Flicked by the Bulldogs. Wingate now on the attack. Great ball down the middle. Trouble area. Johnson tripped up at the top of the box. Wingate begging for a foul. As Johnson tripped that, inadvertently tripped him. This is Card. Again, we're in trouble. And somehow Barbanese comes out and grabs it up. Bryson Lynn a little slow getting up after that collision. Clock down to 22:45. Barbanese with the kick. It dies just across midfield. Villa heads it back. Wingate's kick out of bounds. That was, looked like possibly Andre that did that. And so Harry Solomons is going to return to the lineup to replace Leonardo Da Silva as LMU gets some fresh legs in the lineup. And we're set to get underway again. Villa heads it back toward the line area, and that's off of Lincoln Memorial. Rivera got a piece of it. Nelson from the far side of the field. Being pressured by Lynn. Lynn knocked it away. Pinto making a run on the ball, far sideline. Rail Splitters have got even numbers here. Played across. And unfortunately for Lincoln Memorial, that was, I believe, Solomons that was knocked to the pitch. Might have been Sanders. I can't really see the numbers with the sun in my eyes here. Opportunity for Wingate. Great save by Barbanese. He has played his rear end off here. Passos clearing it up. Brought down by De Silva of Wingate. Chip toward the middle. Johnson gets ahead on it. Ball straight up in the air. Second ball. Passos. And now the ball comes up to Sanders. Sanders making the run. Tries to switch the field over to Pinto. Chested back to Villa. Villa pressured from behind and has it knocked away. The steal made by Card. Johnson brings it down, taps it over to Rivera. Rivera crosses the grain. Back to Pinto. Pinto has time to make his turn. Plays it far sideline. This is Villa on the run. Back to Passos. He's got Rivera way out wide. Rivera all by himself. The ball's short and taken by Card. Actually, that's Macker. Macker making a run up the near sideline. Johnson with the tackle and steal. Plays it over to Lau. Had it knocked out from behind. Nice job by Passos. Ball in the air. Johnson trying to get it to Sanders, and that'll go out of play off the near sideline back to the Bulldogs. Jonathan Macker with the throw in, and he'll play it back to Andrade. Guy Andrade. Long ball up the field over Dooley's head. Trouble, and another great save by LMU's Marcel Barbanitz out of the box. As he jumped in the air to deny that shot, it came off of his body and out of play, and that'll be a corner kick for Wingate. We're under 20 minutes to go in regulation. We're still scoreless. 6 shots to 1 Wingate on goal. Corner kick on its way. Cleared out of there by Passos up to Villa. Villa makes the turn. He's being trailed from behind by Macker. Sends the ball. Pinto's not going to have the legs to get there as the keeper, Daniel DeGraff, comes out. It was a great idea and a little bit less mustard on it, and Pinto might have got to it. Heliodana a little bit up in arms over there as he wasn't happy with something. Ball knocked off the far sideline. That's going to go to Wingate. Dooley kicks it off the end line. And you're starting to see the Rail Splitters give up more opportunities down there. I don't know if they're getting tired or if Wingate is just pressing that hard. Substitution ready to check in for the Rail Splitters, but LMU's got a player down as Barbanitz will come out and check on him. Stoppage in play with 18:18 on the clock. And that is going to bring out Alejandro Leal as we see the return of Leonardo da Silva. Hooking ball into the box. Lynn gets ahead on it. Headed out again by da Silva. Foot race to it, far sideline. Bulldogs will let it roll out. The throw in by Nelson. Nelson now in support, crosses one into the box. Barbanitz goes up, punches it out, comes down hard, recovers quickly. Johnson gets it out. Now Passos with all kinds of room. Passos sending the ball way up the field, and Pinto never even made a run on it as he knew he was offside. Just a huge defensive struggle here. Long ball headed back by Dooley. Bryson Lynn hits the second ball. Passos, far sideline, and it's out of play back to Wingate. 17:15 to play in regulation. Throw in by the Bulldogs, brought down. Nice job defensively by da Silva. Can't keep it in play, and again, Wingate will throw it in front of their own dugout. Flick pass into the box area. Trouble as that shot is wide left by Liam Gillespie. He had an open goal as Marcel Barbanitz had come out to try to knock it away. His shot was wide of the left post. And that's a gift right there for Lincoln Memorial, as that could have been the difference in a 1-0 match and staying 0-0. Barboneats will have the goal kick. And he's into the wind again. Rivera keeps it in play. Set up line. This is Card with the cross. A whiffed ball at the top of the box. Cleared out of there by Bryson Lynn. I tell you what, Wingate is really up in arms right now. Their coaching staff not at all happy in the fact that there's been some contact in the box that the officials, they feel like the officials have let go. Stoppage in play with 15:42 on the clock. And then in the middle of the field, when there's a tackle from behind, the officials have made the call rather. So, yeah, the Wingate bench over there not at all happy with some of the officiating right now. And unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of being over there to hear exactly what their complaints are. But head coach Gary Hamill is still getting his money's worth. Long ball by the Rail Splitters. Pinto back to Lynn. De Silva steps up on it. Had it momentarily, stolen back now by Gadsby. And the Bulldogs have a run. This is up to De Silva. Check back to the middle of the field. Card in the box. Cleared away by Johnson. And that will be a throw-in for Wingate. Nathaniel Johnson playing some hard-nosed defense today. Ball kicked up in the box, out off the end line. That'll be a goal kick for the Rail Splitters. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like the way this second half right here in the, we played some solid defense, but, we're denying time and again, and it's been a while since we've been up there and actually had a shot of our own on goal. We've only had one for the entire match, and as I said, it only takes one, but, here in the last few minutes, Wingate has been all over Lincoln Memorial. Referee's going to allow the substitution. Villa's going to come out, and that will be Lau that comes back in. Lau and Villa have both played well here today. Barboneats gets under this one and sends it across midfield. Passos knocked to the pitch and a foul again on Wingate. Looked like that one might have been on Tizzelli. Tizzelli also out of Brazil, out of Sao Paulo. 14 minutes to go. And Yuri Passos and Nate Johnson back there on the ball right now. Here's Passos, hard ball into the box. Bending, headed out by the Bulldogs. Challenge outside the box, and that's going to be won by Wingate. Long ball up the field and an offside call on the Bulldogs' Dylan Payne. Not sure if that's Payne yet. That is Payne. Here's Pinto in midfield. Plays it far corner. That ball is going to fall short of Bryson Lynn, who was his intended player. Pinto under pressure, had it knocked out from behind. Passos recovers. Switches the field to the near side. Rivera tracking it. Can he keep it in play? He will. Checks back to Keegan Sanders. Now away to Johnson. Johnson switches it back to Sanders. Up to Passos. Through two defenders. Lost the handle on it. This is Gillespie. Up to Barboneats. He bends one to the near sideline, but it won't stay in play. Throw in for the Bulldogs, this side of the field. 12:30 to go in this regulation. And the throw in will come from Jonathan Macker. Card toward the box, right at Barboneats, the keeper. I'll tell you what, whether he gives up a goal or not today, Barboneats has really, really been tested, and I think he's shown what kind of keeper he is. Ball toward the box. Rivera plays it far side of the field. Now some long shadows. In fact, looks like that sun's about to disappear for good here on the field at the LMU Soccer Complex. Johnson bringing it down in the box, sends one out. He's run over. And we got a Wingate player down. Referee doesn't know it yet. Wingate dugout saying to kick it out. Now they're not. They've got it in the box. Punched out by Barbanese. The player's finally up. And a foul right outside the top of the box on Lincoln Memorial. And I mean, folks, this one is about 24, 25 yards out. They've got it dead center of the field. And it will be a set piece for the Bulldogs. I don't know how many keeper saves Barbanese has today. He's punched several out, and he's made some spectacular saves. But Lincoln Memorial will have a huge wall on this one. They got 6 guys in the wall here, I think. That's going to leave a lot of blue jerseys running around. Chip over the top of the crossbar. And that'll be a goal kick for Lincoln Memorial. Things getting kind of dicey here, folks. A lot more opportunities for the Bulldogs than we'd like to see at this point in the match. I think LMU's just finally, offensively, they're finally running out of gas a little bit. They just can't seem to get it up the field. Throw in by Macker. Taken by Tazzelli. Card heads it. Here come the Bulldogs again on the attack. This time it's Gillespie. Plays it across to the far side of the box. Lynn's trying to get there. And he is battling with one of the Wingate defenders. That is going to be back to the Bulldogs as he wasn't able to play it off of him and out of play. Throw in down the line. De Silva checks back into the box. Cleared out of there. And apparently a foul in the box on Lincoln Memorial. A stoppage with 9:23. And we are going to have a penalty kick awarded to the Bulldogs. And, folks, with 9:23 remaining in a match like this, you're talking about what could be the difference in the match. I didn't see the contact that the official whistled was the problem, but nonetheless, it appears that Guy Andrade is going to take the penalty kick for the Bulldogs. Now, you know, as well as Barbanese has played, this is a lot to ask here. Here's Andrade's penalty. And he blows it by him into the left corner. 1-0 Wingate at 9:23. And Helio Dana obviously looking on over there in concern, and I'm sure a little bit of disappointment as well. Again, I don't know that the call was justified. It probably was, but unfortunate that these two teams have played this hard, and the match could potentially be decided with a penalty kick. Rail Splitters are forced to press even harder now. They trail 1-0. Passos plays it near side to Rivera. Rivera looking back over to Passos. Nice turn on the ball with that possession. Passos rips one, deflected off of the defender. Gets it back. Checks it over to Leal. Headed back into the... That looked like a handball right there. No call by the referee. On the run, this is Payne. And he'll play it out off the near sideline. Lincoln Memorial throw-in. So substitutions for both teams now. As Leal is going to go out of the lineup, and that's going to be Pedro Villa that checks back in for Lincoln Memorial. Also back in for the Bulldogs, it's Charlie Mackel. Throw in to Johnson. Johnson up line and into the box. Pinto trying to get their great header out of play by the Bulldogs. And so LMU's going to try to lock this one in. Gus Rivera will have the throw in. 8 minutes to go in regulation. LMU down 1-0. Throw it into the box, headed away. Mackel kicks it back toward midfield. Johnson pulls it down. Plays it far side to Bryson Lynn. Lynn will keep it in play. Up line towards Solomons, but he won't get there first. That's Tazelli of Wingate. Apparently, Tazelli lost it out of play, so LMU will have another throw in. It'll be Lynn to do it. Checked from Villa back to Lynn. Lynn can't get it. And then they're going to get Bryson Lynn with the contact. One of his first fouls here of this match. 7:20 to go on regulation time. LMU trying to find an equalizer here as they trail 1-0 after that penalty kick awarded to Wingate broke the silence. Mackel at midfield, guarded by LMU's Bryson Lynn. Battle for the loose ball. And Dooley, well, we got another stoppage, and we're going to have a card assessed, I believe, to Dooley. Referee looking on hard. Or actually, no, it's on the Wingate player. That is going to be assessed to Charlie Mackel. So maybe some retaliation after the fact, and the possession will go to Lincoln Memorial. Still time for the Rail Splitters to make it happen, but their opportunities here in the second half of play have not been nearly as great as what we saw in the first half. Johnson. Ball headed out again by the Bulldogs. They've played strong today on the defensive end. The keeper really hasn't been tested a whole lot. Throw in by Rivera. And the ball kicked off the inline. So a corner for the Rail Splitters. Marcel Barvanitz almost up to midfield as he tries to help the Rail Splitter cause and keep the ball on the Wingate end of the field. Corner being taken. I believe that's Pinto. I can't really see him from here. Cross way out to the top of the box. Hit by Solomons, deflected by a non-keeper, one of the players, and that ball knocked out off the far sideline back to Lincoln Memorial. Barvanitz is a good, I'm going to say 50 yards from the frame. 45 anyway. Still LMU possession. This time it'll be a throw-in. Referee adamant that it is Lincoln Memorial possession. Clock still running in Wingate favor. 5:40 to play. Bryson Lynn will have the throw. Long throw into the box. Headed out by the Bulldogs. Passo's tracking it. Can't get there. Wingate comes up with possession. Plays it up line. It's heading for the far sideline. Foot race to it. Rivera plays it out. Had to. Didn't have a choice. If he misses or whiffs, Wingate has an open run to the frame, 1v1 with Barvanitz. Miscue by the Bulldogs on the throw-in, and that'll give possession back to Lincoln Memorial, well, temporarily until the Bulldogs get it back. Cross outside the top of the box. This is Card. Card chips one, and it'll go way wide right, out of play, and a goal kick for LMU. Barvanitz wasting no time calling for a ball as he grabs it up, and he's going to send it downfield. Into the wind, that's the bad part about it. Dies at midfield. Barvanitz tracking. He'll grab it just inside the box, far side of the field. Barvanitz looking to get it a little bit further down line this time. And he does just that. Great kick. Headed back by Tazelli. Now Sanders gets a piece of it for LMU. Sanders battling around. The Bulldogs' Gadsby pulls it. Crosses the field. Bryson Lynn trying to hold him in check. Dooley battling, and Barvanitz comes out and checks it over to Lynn. Up to Da Silva. Rail Splitters with some numbers here. Da Silva around one defender. Gets around the other. He's tripped up. No call by the official. And the keeper comes out and grabs it up. There's such a thing as called taking a dive, and that wasn't it right there. I mean, he was clearly knocked down, but again, I don't know if it was bad enough to be issued a foul. Nowhere near the box area, so it wouldn't have been a penalty kick. 3:20 to play. Barboneats gets a good piece of this one again. Nice header at midfield by the Bulldogs, all the way back to Barboneats. They're just denying the Rail Splitters as they have the entire match. Barboneats trying to go far side. Sanders. Actually, that was Solomon's. Across the grain, back toward the middle of the field. Dooley heads it up towards midfield. Sanders can't get it. Rivera. Over to Johnson. Johnson going up line. Intended for Villa. Heads it back over. Villa took a shot in the face again, and he is down. That'll be Lincoln Memorial possession. 2:32 on the clock. And Villa looked like he took a shot right to the mouth. Foul called on Wingate. And LMU not in any hurry here. They've got to have a sense of urgency. We've only got 2:20 to go. Yuri Passos is going to take the kick. Rail Splitters trying to push up in the box. Passos delivers in the box area. Ball's loose. Lynn hits it right at the keeper, and a keeper save. He fell over to his left to make the grab. 1:56 on the clock. The Bulldogs have won 4 out of the last 6 meetings. And they're trying to make it 2 in a row with a win here today. Here's Pinto from the near side of the field. Ball played out off the sideline. 1:40 to go. Pinto with the throw in to Passos. Passos knocked to the deck, asking for a foul. Not enough there. Not enough contact, I can assure you that. Referee in the way right there, and I'll tell you what, Keegan Sanders wasn't any too happy about it. Barboneats contact with the Wingate player, and he is down near side of the box. That's going to be off of him. Lincoln Memorial goal kick. Sean Gadsby taking a pretty good shot for the big tough keeper from Germany. And folks, we are down to 1 minute remaining in regulation.
1 minute remaining in regulation. 1 minute.
Passos trying to keep it in play. Off of the Wingate defender. That'll be a throw in for Lincoln Memorial. Gus Rivera pushing up on it. Plays it back to Passos. Passos ball up toward the box. Flicked back by the Bulldogs. Passos again sending it into traffic. Wingate trying to switch the field. Nobody over there. They're just trying to hold LMU off, and they're doing a pretty good job of it. Dooley tracks it down. Plays it up towards, looks like Solomon's. This is Mackle. LMU stretched very thin. There are a lot of mouths hanging open out there right now. Gadsby into the box, and unlucky break for the Bulldogs as that shot by Dylan Payne came off the left post after it was grabbed by LMU's Marcel Barboneats.
6, 5,
and the Bulldogs are going to escape with the victory today. It was won on a penalty kick late in the second half. 1-0, Wingate takes the victory over Lincoln Memorial as they improve their season record to 11-4-1, 8-2-1 in South Atlantic Conference play. LMU falls to 9-7-1, 6-4-1 in league action. We'll take this time out, be back with a look at your final statistics and a word with Haley O'Dana and Rail Splitter Wrap-Up here on the LMU Sports Network.
Today's broadcast of Lincoln Memorial University Soccer is brought to you by University Medical Clinic, with 2 locations to serve you in Harrogate and New Tazewell, Tennessee. University Medical Clinic. By Farm Bureau Insurance. By Old Town Grill. By Home Federal Bank of Harrogate, always within reach. Home Federal Bank. By Subway of Harrogate and Middlesboro. Eat fresh at Subway. By Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro. Sleep smart at Holiday Inn Express. By Oasis Pizza and Substation. By DeRoyal, a name you can trust, a product you can count on. DeRoyal. By K&K Metal Sales. By Sleep Inn of Middlesboro. Dream better here at Sleep Inn. By the J. Frank White Academy. And by Lincoln Memorial University. Your career path is here. Looking for efficient, compassionate, and comprehensive health care for you and your family? Visit University Medical Clinic. All providers are faculty members of LMU's DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine and are board certified in their specialty. Multiple specialties available including family medicine, pediatrics, OBGYN, and osteopathic manipulative medicine, with locations in Harrogate, Tazewell, and New Tazewell, and most insurance plans accepted. University Medical Clinic is here to serve you. Call 423-869-7193 for an appointment. University Medical Clinic.
Juggling my family schedule is a full-time job. Between school, dance practice, work, there's little time left to worry about much else. That's why I use real-time banking from Home Federal Bank. With real-time banking, I know that when I make a deposit, the money goes straight to my account. No delays, no waiting, no wondering. And I get to focus on what's important.
Real-time deposits, real-time access, real-time banking from Home Federal Bank. Always within reach.
It's the Old Town Grill.
The Old Town Grill is a special place where you bring more than family, more than friends. Bring a hearty appetite, because at the Old Town Grill, you'll never walk away hungry. A delicious change from the ordinary. The perfect place to bring the entire family. The best food and plenty of it. Join the fun and treat your appetite to something special.
It's the OTG.
The OTG is the place to be.
At Farm Bureau Insurance, you can manage your auto, home, and life policies any way you want. If you like the internet, get a quote and file claims online at FBITN.com. If you like to take care of your business over the phone, give us a call. If you like to email, send us a message, and we'll take care of you that way. But if you like an old-fashioned smile and handshake at the door, come down to the local office.
No matter whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, Subway of Harrogate and Middlesbrough has your fresh interests at heart. On your way to work, try one of our mouth-watering breakfast sandwich or flatbread omelets. If it's lunch or dinner time, choose from our wide selection of classic, select, or premium sandwiches, all made to your order. If you're serving a crowd, Subway has sandwich platters, giant subs, box lunches, and even cookie platters. Whether it's dine in or carry out, you can eat healthy and eat fresh at Subway. Subway, 362 Catawba Avenue in Harrogate, and on the corner of the Village Square Mall, Middlesbrough.
1-0, the Rail Splitters fall here today to the Bulldogs of Wingate University. Wingate having taken now 5 of the last 7 meetings from the Rail Splitters. And again, as we mentioned earlier, that drops Lincoln Memorial's men to 9-7-1 overall to 6-4-1 in sack play. Wingate improves to 11-4-1 and 8-2-1 in league action. They will, at least for the time, stay in the 2 spot. LMU, of course, in the 4 spot, but that could change. And we don't know yet as to where the quarterfinal round will be played or who they will play until the end of the day, possibly even into tomorrow. Let's take it over to Adam Plyler now and take a look at your final statistics.
Thanks, Wesley. Only 1 goal in the afternoon, and that was to Andrade with the 81st minute on the penalty kick. And we'll take a look at shots. 1 shot for Victor Tazzelli, 3 for Jewel, 1 shot on goal. We had 5 shots for Liam Gillespie, 6 shots for Perron de Silva, 4 of those on goal. And Andrade with 3 shots, 2 of those on goal, and he had the goal in the 81st minute. For Lincoln Memorial, they had 15 shots, only 2 on goal. Leading the way with 4 shots was Mario Pinto, Yuri Passos with 3, Leonardo da Silva with 2, Nathaniel Johnson with 1, Bryson Len with 1, and his 1 was a shot on goal. And Alexandra Leo with 1 shot and 1 shot on goal as well. Total shots for Wingate, 22, 7 of those on goal. They had that 1 goal to get the win. 17 fouls, though, and that was one of the impressive stats of the night. Combined 33 fouls, 16 for Lincoln Memorial University. Shots by period, Wingate with 15 in the second, Lincoln Memorial with 10. Saves by period, LMU Barvanitz had to do his fair share of saving in the second period. He had 5 saves total in the second, 6 total in the game. Rusty, that's all for stats. Back to you.
Okay, thanks, Adam. Of course, Lincoln Memorial with the loss coming on a penalty kick. And, you know, while I personally would rather see a win or a loss than a tie. You look back at that, and there were a lot of hard fouls here today, some of them taking place in the box. And it almost looks as though referees this year are kind of letting a lot of the stuff go in the box that has been called penalties in recent years in an effort to keep matches from being decided in that particular case. I personally did not see the contact take place over there that was whistled, and that was ultimately the deciding factor in regulation anyway, as Guiandre scored the goal at the 37 mark. That's the 81st minute on a penalty kick. So unlucky break for the Rail Splitters, but nonetheless, they'll have to regroup as we now go to South Atlantic Conference tournament play. And if LMU cannot get it done there, it's one and done. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll talk with Helio Dana about today's loss to the Bulldogs. That's when we return here on the Lincoln Memorial University Sports Network.
Since 1973, DeRoyal has been a leader and an innovator in manufacturing products for the healthcare industry. DeRoyal supplies more than 20,000 products and product lines such as acute care, orthopedics, wound care, and trauma. DeRoyal is proud to be the largest supplier of orthopedic soft goods to clinics and hospitals in the nation. Since its start in Tazewell, Tennessee, DeRoyal has grown to open factories in over 29 locations worldwide and employs over 2,000 people. DeRoyal, a name you can trust and an employer you can count on.
When you're traveling throughout the Tri-States, stay smart at Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro. With nearly 60 rooms to choose from, fitness center, full complimentary hot breakfast bar, and seasonal pool, Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro is all about catering to your travel needs. Our rooms are all equipped with flat screen TV, refrigerator, microwave, and we're conveniently located just seconds from the area's attractions. When you're on the road, stay smart at Holiday Inn Express, located on the Cumberland Gap Parkway, Middlesboro. Make reservations today by calling 606-248-6860.
Money Magazine recently ranked physician assistant as one of the top 5 jobs in America. Your career path to becoming a physician assistant begins at Lincoln Memorial University. PAs diagnose and treat patients and provide patient education, among many other responsibilities. At DeBus College of Osteopathic Medicine at LMU, you'll experience hands-on training in a state-of-the-art medical school. Receive a Master of Medical Science degree in Physician Assistant Studies upon completion of the 27-month program. Join the healthcare team. Your career path is here.
For great food, fun, and entertainment, visit the Oasis on Highway 25E in Harrogate, Tennessee, with a new drive-thru to better serve you. At the Oasis, you can enjoy a great lunch buffet or order from the great menu that the tri-state area has grown to love. Pizza, salad bar, and a tasty sandwich from the deli. And don't forget your favorite beverages. Check out the live music each week at the Oasis, where regional and local bands strut their stuff to a packed house. Or stop by and catch the big race on the big screen. All roads lead to the Oasis, 6341 Cumberland Gap Parkway in Harrogate, Tennessee. Phone in your order, 423-869-8000.
Make K&K Metal Sales your only stop for all your residential and commercial metal building needs. For the past 23 years, K&K Metal Sales has covered the tri-state area with quality custom roofing and siding with many grades, gauges, and colors in stock. If you're looking for complete steel or wood building packages or steel or wood trusses, K&K Metal Sales can help with that, as well as heavy-duty custom carports. Great folks and great prices. Stop by K&K Metal Sales located at 6986 Cumberland Gap Parkway or call 423-869-4261.
The J. Frank White Academy is more than a high school. Your child will have room to grow in mind, body, and spirit. Small, safe learning environments, individualized learning plans, and cutting-edge technology. Every child deserves a quality education in a safe, nurturing environment.
Our college prep program teaches a love of learning, self-discipline, and service to others. The Academy is fully accredited by Advanced Ed. You have a choice at the J. Frank White Academy.
The Rail Splitters fall here today 1-0 in regulation to the Bulldogs of Wingate University. The goal came in the 81st minute. It was a penalty kick on a handball. We did not see I personally did not see the penalty up here. I've talked to Coach L about it. A justified call by the official. Nonetheless, a great score for the Bulldogs, and they take the 1-0 win. Coach, I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to see the tie. I think they ought to do away with that. The penalty kick, though, at least it seems like this year referees haven't called as much in the box. They've let a lot more go on. There was a lot of contact here today. It was called evenly both ways, and so it was consistent. There's nothing to complain about there. But you almost hate to see this match decided as hard as both these teams played on a penalty kick.
Yeah, I mean, for the record, it was a handball, but nothing to take from my team that, we were 3 players short today. And we missed a lot, particularly. I mean, both. I mean, all of them, but particularly George. George would have been good today to kind of hold the stronger guys back there. But all the younger guys that stepped up. I mean, 6 underclassmen started, if not 7. So they played their heart out, and it's hard because one of them in particular, a freshman, resulted in the penalty kick, and he feels, responsible, which is not so. But if we keep playing like this, I'm confident that we're going to make a run in the tournament. But we got to put away the chances. Of all people, Mario today had a wide open net, and when we don't put it away, that's what happens.
When you entered the match today, Coach, you're in 4th place. If you win it today, depending on what happens with Carson Newman, you could move up into 2nd. That didn't happen. So now, with the loss, you fall to 6-4-1 in league play. I asked you the same thing on the women's postgame. What does this do to you in terms of the pairings for the upcoming SAC tournament?
Nothing. I mean, we're hosting no matter what, and I'm going to have to see who won their games to see who we play, and based on what probabilities would say, I would say we're going to be playing Coker here on Tuesday, but we're hosting.
All right, as far as Coker goes, in terms of the teams that you could have played, I know there's so much parity. Anybody can beat anybody on any given day. In terms of how the teams match up, is this a pretty good draw for you if that's in fact who you wind up playing?
Yeah, because they like to possess, they like to play like we do. When we played them up there, it was such a beautiful game. It was one of those 0-0s that those that don't like soccer cannot understand the beauty of it. Those that like knew that it was a great game. So, yeah, I mean, but at this time of the year, whoever comes, we don't care. We're at home, and that's a big thing.
That's a statement I made in the first half, Coach. I mean, you had 1 shot on goal to none after the first 45 minutes of play. And while there wasn't really a whole lot of offense, and a lot of people look at that and say, how can you watch that? That's so frustrating. It was a beautiful first half.
Yeah, and quite frankly, 2 teams that easily, if any of us qualify to nationals, would make runs, So this is how strong this conference is. I'd say the top 6-7 teams in our conference can beat anybody in other conferences. But you're right, it was a great game.
All right, today was also senior day for you. Now, you're only saying goodbye to 2 seniors on the men's squad, and I don't think either of the two went out today the way they wanted to. Callum Holm was not able to play. He received his 5th yellow card in the match earlier this week against Lees McRae. Had to sit out today. Mario Pinto plays today, but again, he's not able to come up with a victory. And so for those 2 guys, not the way they wanted to go out, but what spectacular players they have been in this program since being here.
Oh, yeah, we have nothing but praise for these guys, and I hope we can somehow give back to them what they've given to LMU in terms of recognizing them. Callum Holm couldn't play, but he exerted his leadership the entire game. He was an assistant coach today. Great cues to the defenders, and particularly to the freshmen that had to play today. Mario, yes, he missed a wide open goal, but I tell you, he's entitled. He's won so many games for us, and he did so many good things today. And people forget, sometimes we take him for granted. This is not a big guy, This is not a fragile guy. He's a strong boy, but he's a small frame, and he's now making up the lack of George Byrne. So he's having to absorb a ton of contact. So I praise these guys a lot.
Coach, before we let you go, I want to talk about one thing. We've talked about since the beginning of the season the fact that you felt like this year's team depth was a little greater. Here for the last few games in particular, we've seen guys coming in off the bench who typically throughout the early part of the year didn't get a lot of playing time. But I thought today that you got some big minutes from quite a few guys. I mean, Bryson Lynn continues to just amaze me with the things he does. Back on the defensive backfield, you got Gus Rivera, who does great things. I thought Nathaniel Johnson played well today. But when you put Pedro Villa in the lineup and you had Alejandro Leal that came in, they really played well for you today. And both of those guys have been limited in their playing time lately.
Pedro coming back from sickness, so he hasn't really trained much. And Alexandre, it's a tough one for you to pronounce, I know. He has sat 4 weeks now almost, because he had a terrible ankle sprain and basically trained 1 time this week. So you're right. I mean, these guys step in and do what they did, and I think Tuesday they're going to be even stronger.
All right, Coach, tough one today to swallow, but you've still got another life to live with the upcoming SAC tournament. We want to wish you the best of luck and looking forward to having the Rail Splitters back here one more time.
Same here. Thank you.
All right, Ellie O'Dana and his team will be in action this week. Hopefully, as he mentioned a minute ago, we'll be playing Coker, and that will be the draw that he looks forward to playing. You can find out the latest up-to-date information on the start time and when that'll be played and who will play on the LMU Athletics website. Probably be posted a little bit later on this evening, but www.lmurailsplitters.com. Click on the men's soccer site and you'll have that information. Now, you can do the same for the women as well because they'll be in action first round. Most likely they'll be on the road, but we don't know who yet they're going to play, but we will know that by the day's end. Your technical direction here this afternoon has been by Adam Plyler, your camera operation by Adam Crawford, and by Justin Wormy. Your executive producer for the broadcast has been Tony Spinoza. This has been a production of Sigmund Communications. For everybody behind the scenes of Lincoln Memorial University Men's Soccer, I'm Rusty Peace from the LMU Soccer Complex. Good night, everybody.
Today's broadcast of Lincoln Memorial University Soccer has been brought to you by University Medical Clinic, with 2 locations to serve you in Harrogate and New Tazewell, Tennessee. University Medical Clinic. By Farm Bureau Insurance. By Old Town Grill. By Home Federal Bank of Harrogate, always within reach. Home Federal Bank. By Subway of Harrogate and Middlesboro. Eat fresh at Subway. By Holiday Inn Express of Middlesboro. Sleep smart at Holiday Inn Express. By Oasis Pizza and Substation. By DeRoyal, a name you could trust, a product you can count on. DeRoyal. By K&K Metal Sales. By Sleep Inn of Middlesboro. Dream better here at Sleep Inn. By the J. Frank White Academy. And by Lincoln Memorial University. Your career path is here.